is oral sex permissible? It is awful, it is disgusting, it is not acceptable, but when it comes to the word halal or haram, we have to find a reference. The Quran says, نِسَاؤُكُمْ حَرْثٌ لَكُمْ فَأْتُوا حَرْثَكُمْ أَنَّا شِئْتُمْ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in another ayah, فَإِذَا تَطَهَّرْنَ فَأْتُوهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ. So it is perfectly lawful for every spouse to enjoy his spouse, the entire body, except one thing. فَأْتُوهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ is to have an intimate relationship in the orifice which is created for this reason. Okay, which is al-farj. Having an intimate relationship in the rear orifice is absolutely forbidden, one of the major sins, and it can take out of Islam. That is the only prohibition in this regard. Similarly, having intercourse during the menses. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْمَحِيضِ قُلْ هُوَ أَذًى فَاعْتَزِلُوا النِّسَاءَ فِي الْمَحِيضِ وَلَا تَقْرَبُوهُنَّ حَتَّى يَطْهُرْنَ فَإِذَا تَطَهَّرْنَ فَأْتُوهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ. Which means they ask you concerning the menstruation. Say it is adha, harmful, because of the blood that carries germs and so on, the blood of the menses. So whenever there is blood flow or whenever the woman experiences the monthly period, you should avoid having an intimate relationship with your spouse in this condition until she is in a state of tahara. And after the tahara, ائتُهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ, embrace them wheresoever Allah allowed you to embrace, as I mentioned earlier. The place where she may conceive and have a child and so on. So these are the restrictions, and this is what is allowed, which is everything in general. It is permissible for every person to see everything of his or her spouse. There is something called modesty, chastity, shyness, where, for instance, we know that Prophet Muhammad Salah never looked at the awrah of his spouse, and she never looked at his awrah. But it is not forbidden for any person to see his own awrah or the awrah of his or her spouse, of the entire body, including the major awrah. It is not forbidden. We have to be very specific. It is forbidden to touch your private with the right hand while urinating, not while taking a shower, not while washing yourself. In the hadith, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّمَا هُوَ بُضْعَةٌ مِّنْكَ. It's just a piece of you. It's a part of you. It's not something impure. But one hadith requires that if you touch your private with your palm, then you have to make wudu. Another hadith says it's just a piece of you. So a combination of that indicates it is permissible to touch your body and your private as long as you're not touching your private while urinating or answering the call of nature with the right hand. Okay? So which means that doesn't apply to touching the private of the other. I know that this is a very sensitive subject, but you cannot imagine how many questions we get in this regard. I cannot bury my head in the sand and say and act blind and neglect it, because these questions are from the youth. In America, a college student just asked me straightforward question, and she was a girl. Is oral sex halal or haram? It is easy to say haram. Can you support that with a proof? Can you say it is forbidden due to the following reference? I can only say that it is imitating animals. It is disgusting. It is a place of impurity. It is a place of answering the call of nature. How can you put your tongue in your mouth there? Right? And that's why it's disgusting. Okay? It should be avoided because unfortunately this is all imported from the West, Western societies who have tried everything. When they are done and finished with women and having even the worst kind of intimate relationship, which is forbidden and it leads to kufr, okay, they went to have sexual relations with the same gender, homosexuality. And when they're done with that, they moved on to animals. They will not have an end or a red line. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ مِمَّنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Who is more astray than one who has taken his hawa, his lust or desire, as his own God? In a sense that whatever he desires, he does. Whatever they crave for as a lust, they do. Nothing is haram or restricted. And the widespread of the STDs, sexual transmitted diseases, is simply because of that. Mouth cancer, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, throat cancer. Think about it. The place of urination and the place of answering the call of nature, the place which is full of microorganisms, which are normal flora for this place. But it is not normal flora for the mouth, for the tongue which says subhanallah, the tongue which glorifies the praise of Allah, the tongue which recites the Quran. So should it be avoided? Yes, it is recommended to avoid that. This is not our tradition. But again, I cannot tell you it is forbidden because of a straightforward reference. I hope this answer is very clear. Barakallahu feekum.